Hi.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
Michelle. Nice to see you back.
Well,
How have things been going?
they're okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna recap the last meeting that we had. We talked about some stresses in your life,
Hmm.
and we imagined we were making balloons, and we put the biggest stressor in the big balloon, and that which was your
Hmm.
job. And then your second balloon was your mom, the passing of your mom, and your third balloon was your dad. And we said that we were gonna you told me you were out for work,
Yes,
and I don't recall asking you why.
I told you because I was assaulted by two
Okay,
different
yeah.
students.
So you were assaulted by a student, and you said you've been out for work for 5 months,
Hmm.
and that are you thinking about returning back to work?
I am supposed to go back to work March the 1st,
Okay.
and I did have some excitement about going back,
Hmm.
but I really don't want to. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I can tell by your body language that when you're discussing work, you get a little, you know,
Hmm. Tighten my hands.
tighten
Yeah.
up about it. I see your legs across, your hands across, and
Hmm.
you working that gum today. But you're
Hmm.
seriously thinking about not returning back to that school or to
Yeah.
the profession
That school, that district.
district?
Hmm.
Hey, I heard it was a pretty large district.
It's huge,
Huge.
and that frustrates me.
Okay. So the size of the school district kind of adds to your anxiety.
Yes, because going back to my students, I came from a school that district that only had four high schools,
Okay.
and we had a bigger budget for our students, and they
Hmm.
wasn't even a Title One. And this district only want to give us $200, and then
Okay.
they want us to fill out an application and go through a training on how to use a $200 gift card.
Okay.
So I came from having uh $1,200 $1,300 budget each semester, and that was just for Sam's Club and fries. That
Wow.
wasn't. We did field trips all the way up until April till March till spring break, and the district paid for them. The students' parents didn't have to start paying for it till after spring break, and it's just not the same. Uh, I know when you come from somewhere and you know how things are supposed to go, you have an issue when they are not like that. And I go to PLCs with the other teachers that's been doing this for 12, 14 years, and they offer absolutely no advice. Their issue is the same issue I have, and I that causes me to have no respect because you've been here for 14 years, not being able to service these
Hmm.
kids. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I I don't want to do anything to or for a child that I would not do to my own.
Yes.
So that's frustrating.
So you're telling me that the situation with the budget, the lack of concern that they have for the students,
Yes,
and the teachers that have been there a while, seems like they've lost interest.
yes,
Like you mentioned the last session that you were losing interest,
yes,
but they're continuing to stay,
yes.
and you're considering to leave because you don't want to be one of those individuals.
Right.
Okay, that's understandable, and there's nothing wrong with you you analyzing and coming up with that conclusion about the
Mm-hmm.
situation. But it seems like to me that when when you come to this conclusion, it starts to stress you out and cause you to
Mm-hmm.
have anxiety.
Because I never, I always talk, well, I come from where we have one big district, and every other
Hmm.
place I've worked in the school system has been a county district.
Right.
I haven't worked where you have 50 districts, what, like 30 something
Hmm.
districts in one in the Phoenix metro area. And so I always called the other teachers district divers, where they went to every school until
Hmm.
finally there's nowhere else you can go and you're stuck. And I never wanted to be that teacher. I don't want to be that I'm starting over again and again and again. And I guess I'm kind of upset with myself because I knew
Mhm.
The first week before we even got students, that wasn't the place for me. And I had the opportunity to go back where I was. And because I didn't want to feel like a failure, I
Mhm.
stayed. And um, the good thing, I've met a couple of good people that'll
Mhm.
be my friends, whether I work there or not.
Yeah.
Um, and I constantly have them say to me, "We'll be glad when you come back," because
Mhm.
I'm the one who speak up. I'm the one who
Mhm.
um, challenges the system, and I have no problem doing that. But it, I'm like, let me. My attitude is let me be the one they hate. I'm used to it. I need you to be the nice one. I need you to
Mhm.
be the one that's the good guy, because we can't both be the bad guy.
So,
So,
so do you feel being, like you said, being the bad guy and speaking up and taking the brunt of the
hmm
consequences? Do you think that has added to your anxiety, to where you feeling now about your current job?
yes, because one of the things where I came from, I had someone that we were, as they say in the Bible, evenly yoked.
Okay.
Like we professionally and everything, we respected each other,
Mhm.
and we both was challengers of the system,
Mhm.
and like 10 years she built a great program. Like um, at the end of the school year, I was upset because I felt like she should get an award because they have no idea what she does. And in a self-contained setting, like I've had teachers say to me, "Oh, you got it easy." No. Having these 10 or 12 students that we have is like having 45 students.
Yeah.
But I'd rather deal with that setting. I'm I don't like inclusion because it just don't work for me because I have my own.
Mhm.
Um, one of the things I don't care what the evaluation was, I've always got great, exceedingly mainly on my classroom management. And that's because my students know I'm there for them.
Right.
I mean, like even in the prison, they knew that if they were right, I had your back. If you're wrong, I'm sorry. Um, because I do believe they teach us a lot of rhetoric and all these professional
Mhm.
developments and everything. But I honestly believe in positive emotional climate. I
Mhm.
honestly believe that if you're coming to school and you're
Mhm.
scared of your teacher, or you're scared of the environment, or you're scared of your fellow students. How
Mhm.
much learning are you going to do? Not much,
Yeah.
So um, I mean, like me being, I actually it's ridiculous that I've actually only been at this school before I went off August, September, October, 2 months before I went out. I've
Mhm.
been off longer than I ever worked in the school.
Yeah. Does that, what you said before about, you sounds like you're very emotional about your job, your
Mm,
students, their environment. You want to keep them safe, and anything that threatens that becomes they have to answer to Lashare.
yes, like even with my assistants, um, the environment before was any of these teachers can get on the phone and
Mhm.
call and say we're ending their assignment, which is something I don't agree with. I do not believe that paraprofessionals should be from a temp service
Mhm.
because they don't meet the requirements. Most of them do not have 60 credit hours or do have not passed the paraprofessional exam. But it was a environment where okay, I don't like this one. It don't matter if they work in my room or not. I'm called. I'm a, but I made it where no one gets to call anybody and say one of my people does not get to stay. That's my decision because you have to question me first because I set the tone. That's nothing I believe in. I set the tone for my classroom and I let my assistants know that I can do my job. I love having you here and having the assistants,
Mhm.
but I can do my job without you.
Okay.
So
It sounds like like I said before, you're very passionate and you take ownership of the things that occur in your classroom and your staff,
yes,
and you want to be this whole person that if there's an issue to be addressed, you want to be the person that your superiors come to.
Yes, because they let, since I was off, they let one of my assistants, you know, not you not let go because you can go work for another school if you
Mm-hmm.
want to, but I questioned the principal about it
Yeah.
because it wasn't a solution. Um, so I don't care who you are. You're not going to come and tell me how to run my classroom. You're not going to come and tell me how to supervise my staff. Um, that's just how I feel, and that's something that they're not used to.
Do you think the concerns and the things you mentioned just a few minutes
Hmm.
ago has led to you feeling the feelings that you've been feeling? You know, the
Yes,
stressors, the anxiety, the not sleeping at night. I think you
yes,
mentioned that you're
because I
not
was
sleeping at night.
excited. Like I
Mhm.
want to work with kids that have. I came from where the kids, my students were a little more financially
Mhm.
all better off. But I was excited. Hey, I'm at a Title One school. It's all these programs out here
Mhm.
for Title One schools. We get to go to these places for free. My students volunteered at Goodwill, volunteered at the assisted living. Um, our goal was to get them out into the general population. I mean, I had students that couldn't read. They
Mhm.
could recognize words, but they would never be able to read. Their brain just doesn't work like that. But they're in cooking classes. They're in this. We assigned them to classes.
Mhm.
We looked at what was available and we said this person will be good for this class, that class. It's nothing like that, and I'm just this. I think my issue is I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I can see how passionate you are that the when you the things that you've seen,
Mhm.
experienced could could make you feel disappointed because you're not able to change the things that
Right.
you feel need to be changed. And I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
Do you feel that you take on a little bit more, regarding the job than you should?
I think sometimes I
Sometimes
do
you do.
because, but I'm very mindful now because me and my husband have this thing.
Hmm.
We could talk about work for about a half an hour, and after that, it's over. Or like on the weekend, you mainly me, I can
Hmm.
mention it once, and that's it. I don't get to talk about work anymore because I was in a situation before, previous to going back to public schools, where the job had really like began to really affect my home life. And so my husband said, "You can have a half an hour to talk about it, and that's it. We're done with it."
Because that was going
And
to be
that's
my
what we do.
next question was how is the stresses at work, are they spilling over to home? And you just answered that by
Yeah.
saying that your husband doesn't allow.
And my husband has come. He um at the other school I was at, he's chaperoned
Hmm.
because he's very good. He works with kids that are have special needs as well. He's very good, and the kids trust him.
Hmm.
Um, and so he came in and he's seen my environment. He's seen, so he understands
Yeah.
how I feel. So that helps. Like so now when I if I do or when I talk about it, he totally can identify with what I'm talking about now, especially about him beginning to work with kids with special needs.
And it sounds like to me, and you confirmed that you do know where your stresses are coming from. It's coming from the work environment, the
Mhm.
lack of leadership, the lack of support,
Yes.
the lack of financial support for the students that you felt that you would be able to turn their lives around,
Yes.
and you haven't been able to do that due to the
Right.
circumstances that you the roadblocks that you ran into.
And even though I was only there for a couple, I mean, it seemed like I was at work for so much more than a couple of months because it doesn't take long to have a impact.
Hmm.
That's something I have learned from this job. It doesn't take long to have an impact, and um,
Would that be positive or negative
yeah,
or either?
and
Uh-huh.
I think I've had a positive, and I think, like I said earlier, that people got used to me being the one that's saying what I had to say because I told you on the interview who and how I was. So
Yeah, I just seen a smile come out of you a while ago.
yeah,
Because it sounds like the Sharon is going to tell you who a Sharon is and how you work.
unapologetically.
and you give them the decision whether they want to play with Lashare.
Right. If you don't, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave mine alone.
So, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna set a goal.
Okay.
No, you're gonna set a goal.
Okay.
On what you want to eliminate or change or modify to help alleviate the anxiety that you feel when you're talking about this topic, thinking about it.
Um. Well, one of my goals, which I already do good at. I don't really check my work email
Mm-hmm.
unless I'm looking for something, and
Mm-hmm.
I go straight to what I'm looking for. I don't look at any other email.
Excuse me.
But I'm less emotional so about it. Like, so that's what I'm being honest with myself. So that's my goal, to be honest with myself. One of the last things my mom um, talked to me about was not letting the people at that school, at the district, force me into making a decision that I was not ready to make.
Sorry.
That I was the victim, and that was my main issue. I'm not a victim. I've never seen myself as a victim.
Shoulders prodding up when you say
but
you're
I actually was a victim, and I am a victim when I'm a victim of a crime. And so my thing is meditation. I find that works for my anxiety, just to be regular at it, like do it every night in a row, like I'm supposed to.
Well, I just got an email today. The um, the counseling association sent us out some email with some different links and apps for clients to download, and they suggested the Calm app, capital CALM, and I think it has like a 7-day trial where you can mediate. I think it's twice a day, maybe.
I was thinking about downloading that app because because one of the apps that I was on was CBT.
Okay.
And it helped me, um, like, I guess in a way, self-diagnose because it really went into detail about different types of depression and all of that kind of stuff. So my main thing would be uh, doing my meditation in a, like, the next time I see you, being able to say that I've done my meditation consecutively, not miss the day or miss the night, or I'm having an issue, let me do my meditation. So that's my main goal for right now.
Well, can we add a little something else to it in case you're not able to meditate? Maybe what about some active journaling?
Yes, I'm a to-do list person.
Okay.
I always write to-do lists, and it helps me as far, I consider that like a portion of the journaling because I know which way I expect my week or my day to go. And then at the end of the night, I look at my to-do list and I begin to say, okay, I did not complete this task.
Okay.
And why I did not complete this task, or what issues I had for today, or just if I had a great day, just putting down that I had a great day and this is what was great about it. I think now a lot of us consider Facebook and journaling, because a lot of people live on Facebook, and I've become a little more cautious of that. But yeah, journaling, it doesn't have to be a lot. Just
no, it doesn't have to be a lot. Just jot something down. I would like you to focus on really when you're feeling at your best, where you want to be able to share and that you want to be, and not focus on the negative. So, with that being said, your homework, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. And if you need me before, call me. Call me before. But I want you to try the Calm app and let me know how it does, how you feel, how you're sleeping, and also bring in a few of your little journal scripts that you want to share with me, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And see if that's helping. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay with that. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.